I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that.
Do I sound heavy in my voice? Like, is it sounding a little bit? I feel like I have a...
You have an extra rasp in it today.
How many cigarettes did you smoke today?
Not enough. Never enough. The only question is, after every cigarette that you need to ask yourself is, well, did I die? And then you just move on to the next one.
And if the answer is no, kids, you just keep smoking them. That's a top tip.
I'm known on this podcast for my very gratuitous, or whatever the fuck it's called, intro.
Grandiose?
I don't, yeah.
Gratuitous?
Yeah, gratuitous, that was it. Thank you, Australian person.
Gratuitous?
Yeah.
Sounds like fucking Ratatouille or something.
Yeah, it does.
Making, like, dinner with
Yeah,
rats.
but anyway, we all know that everybody that listens to this show especially comes to hear this intro of mine. We know it.
I've actually been stopped in the street and someone has told me that.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. But that's not even a lie. That's true.
Matthias?
I will not confirm nor deny.
yeah, I know that motherfucker. Yeah. But anyway, like today I'm not gonna do it. Today I'm gonna I'm gonna use the sensation of knowledge. I'm gonna bestow upon you knowledges you should know, but you don't know, but you should know. But you don't know, but you should know, but you don't know. That you don't know and you should know. That's what we're gonna do today.
Cool.
So kind of like, what is my parents' phone number?
No.
Stuff I should know, but I have no fucking idea.
I don't think you listened, Alex. It's what you should know, but you don't know, but you should know, but you don't know.
Yeah, my parents' phone number.
But I'm going to need you guys to have an open mind for this. Alex and Alejandra, my two co-hosts. Hi, everybody that's listening. Join the Discord server, you fucking dickheads. All right, now that that's out of my system. Alejandra, I would kindly ask you to open your spiritual legs to me so that I may slide my pole of truth within you to expand on what you perceive to be reality. I know you'd like that one. I mean, look at the look in those eyes. Those are me. She's giving me fuck me eyes. Call me your bitch, Alex.
I can confirm.
Yes.
She is.
Yeah. And Alex, my buddy, I would ask you to lift up the ass cheeks of your knowledge, so that I may thrust my thick shaft of newly found wisdom between your cheeks of reality. In other words, I shall penetrate you both with truth and shoot my glistening load of new reality upon your spiritual minds. Are you ready?
What the fuck's going on?
Swear to God, if there's aliens, I'm out.
Yeah, it's not aliens, fuckhead. And by the way, we still need that fucking apology from you.
I told you it will never happen until you're in your fucking spaceship flying past my balcony.
Flipping you off. I think that was the deal,
me
right?
Off, then I will apologize.
Well, anyway, look, this is what we're actually going to do. We're going to talk today. I thought this was such a fucking fun idea. We're going to talk about the stuff that you think you know, but you don't know, and you should know. That's basic. I can't make it any more clear, Ali. Don't look at me like that.
I've been doing math for the fucking past month and a half, and basically what you're saying is sort of me trying to read what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing in math, and I'm just sitting there like.
And then I come in with my pole of truth to help her.
No, I'm inserting the poles of truth, the thick shafts of reality today, my friend.
Just remember, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, that's pretty much what sums up this podcast. Mm-hmm. Look, I got my beautiful button, which we have heard in other podcasts. Yeah.
Oh, good.
We're gonna do a question thing, but there's no winners and there's no losers today because.
Well, thank you for reminding us that you still owe us.
Yeah, you haven't done your thing.
Yeah, I know. Jesus fucking Christ! Just give me at least like 5 fucking years, will you?
Sure.
No, I know I'm good for it. I'll do it at one point. I just have to find. I'm good for it. Shut the fuck up. Let me do this shit. All right. Well, basically, the reason why I don't want any winners or losers is because I would be surprised if you guys had one right.
It's just basically that Andy just can't ask for a punishment for either of us because he has missed 2 punishments in a row.
No, it's not that. It's genuinely you won't have any right answers. Hey, look, you want to make a fucking thing amongst yourself? Go right a fucking head. I don't mind. I'm just saying.
All right, I got
none
it.
of you
I know
gonna
the
win.
punishment. I know the punishment.
Oh, there shouldn't
if
be any
I
fucking
win,
punishments.
I get to have sex with her tonight. If she wins, she gets to have sex with me tonight.
I think that's a very good fucking deal.
So either way, there's a winner here.
You know what's concerning? That she's immediately nodding no.
Shaking my head. No.
But, well, I'll work on that.
Yeah, all right. Well, yeah, go right ahead. All right. Well, we're immediately gonna jump off to the first question. How many senses do human beings have?
I've talked with you about this before. We've said this in the fucking podcast before. Because usually there are 5 senses. But you say there are like 8 senses or something. Because you had a discussion with your kid's teacher at school.
Oh, yeah. But I went ahead and sorted up how many there were.
Well, fundamentally, there are 5. But
Yes.
Yeah, according to science, there's 5.
Yeah.
No, not science. Science says way more. Schools say 5, and to say, well, actually, I've written it all down here. Anyway, anywhere around 21 would be the correct answer. There are 5 basic senses, which are, as we all know, sight, touch, smell, taste, hearing. Besides those, there are senses in the human body that can do a various amount of things. For example, there's balance. If you close your eyes, you lose balance. What's that about? It's a sensory fucking thing. It is an extra sense that we have.
Yeah, and if you want to fuck that sense up, get crystals in your ear, and you'll see how fucked up your life is.
Yeah, or shove a couple on your ass. You never know what it's good for. There is something that's called thermoception, which is basically what allows us to determine if something is hot or cold. You wouldn't think about it at first, but it is
part of the touch sense.
No, it's not. Because if you hold your hand up against an open flame, and you're 2 feet away from the flame, you never touch the flame, but you feel the heat.
Because you have nerve receptions, because
yes, but that doesn't fall under touch. Touch is touching something and feeling that it's a solid or a liquid or a gas or whatever it is.
No, but it is because there's molecules in the air that project the heat, so you're still touching the molecules.
It falls under touching, but it's a different receptor to what the fucking sense
there's
is.
still 5 senses, but just because
it's not.
There's under the umbrella is something else.
Well, it goes even further than that. If you want to fucking be nitty-picky about that, then fine, you can have it. But it's not part of the touching sense because it's a completely different part of the brain that reacts. It's a completely different part of receptor that reacts. So it can't be the solid touching fucking thing.
Did you get these facts from a woman that sells rocks down on your corner on the street?
No.
Who's going to read your chakra and like blow some incense on you and like the scary ghost man's going to leave you?
No. This is actual science. I'm gonna blow your mind because there's a lot of things that you think are real.
But what's actual science? If you're basing on actual science, can you provide me with a source? I want the source.
I could probably find you the paperwork from the guy that did on it, but let me just finish this off because like it gets more interesting than that.
Is it a science or a pseudoscience?
No, it's not a pseudoscience. It's not mumbo jumbo. This is actual fucking science. They're teaching our kids wrong. We have literally been taught wrong. And you'll see later on in the episode because science keeps changing shit, and that's the most interesting part. So if you don't keep up to date, you just lose your perspective.
Science constantly evolves because you find
I'm pretty
out
sure
new
at
things.
one point there were 5 senses, but you'll see on later in the episode when we talk about something else, that it changes quite a lot.
Okay.
But so there's also pain receptors in the body. Pain doesn't fall under feeling, for example, because like migraine, you can't feel your mind, and yet we have them. It's clearly a different sense. It's a different receptor. It's a different sense. You see where this is going? So there's upwards of 21. For example, the nose in itself has over 200 or more receptor types. And for example, if you look at your tongue, there's a part of your tongue that tastes the bitter. There's a part of your tongue that tastes the salt. There's a part of your tongue, and so on and so on. These are all
I can
different
squirt
receptors.
with my tongue.
What?
I can squirt with my tongue.
You can squirt with your tongue, but you could squirt with a lot of things, you sexy minx.
I can confirm.
Yeah, but so to claim that there are only 5 senses, which they do in school, it's just a crime against the human fucking anatomy, because there's so much our body can do, and they're only dulling it down to like fucking, oh, these are the 5 main ones. It's like, no, it's way more interesting than that. There's a lot more. Now, one of the most striking observations that I found has been one of the most recent that has been discovered. The very strong possibility that some human beings may be able to see with their fingertips. Now, this...
People that see with colors or like...
Aliens are coming in now.
No, exactly. No. It's not. The first word of this strange phenomenon came from a Russian scientist early, like a couple of years ago, in the beginning of the year. He reported the case of a 22-year-old girl who would detect color by her sense of touch and read the text of a newspaper by running her finger over the prints. Now, our own Western scientists, of course, were like, wow, this is fucking Russian fucking bullshit. And they received the news with great skepticism. But such impressions soon turned to wonder with the revelation that an American psychologist, Dr. Richard P. Utz of Barnard College, had tested an American woman who can identify colors by touch alone. She doesn't use anything else. It's just she touches something, she knows what color it is. Meanwhile, the Russians claim to have turned up 2 more cases of fingertip seeing and have had their leading scientists double-check the earlier findings. And there seems to be strong indications that certain humans might be able to have a 20-second sense instead of 21.
So this is basically some Nen shit.
This is basically what?
Nen shit.
He has
Nen,
no idea what Nen is.
if you don't know, Nen
I have
is from
no
Hunter
idea.
x
I don't
Hunter.
think anybody knows what Nen is.
People that watch Hunter x Hunter know what Nen
Also
is.
known as Hunter x Hunter to people that know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
What is Nen? Explain that to me.
I don't have the time.
It's essentially the Force, but in an anime.
Oh,
more or less.
just go fucking Star Wars anecdotes then. Jesus.
In a way, touching like a color, kind of. Like, 'cause, I mean, technically each color is a different wavelength. So, like, it could make sense that you could actually tell if you were sensitive to the wavelength, you would know what color it was, because each color has a different, like, wavelength.
The odd thing is that I've recently been looking into frequencies and stuff like that, and you would be incredibly fucking believed how much of our planet and our like existence does exist with frequencies. Like everything has its own like personal little like frequency it lives on. It's fucking it's
Everything
weird. It's
Radiomagnetic
yeah.
force.
Even the nothingness of the universe is not nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's odd to wrap my head around it, but recently I've come into the concept of the fact that nothing doesn't exist. Nothing cannot be real.
Nothing is just a concept created to humans. To,
Well, I guess so.
Scare them into God.
Yeah, no, but more as in to be able to comprehend what like emptiness and like, because there isn't actually a word for it, and people like needed to put a word to it to be able to grasp it in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
spoke
it's
to
like-
fucking years ago with my tattoo artist, I think. But explain what nothing is. But to explain, for a person to explain what nothing is, they still have to have something to be able to explain the nothing.
It's like explaining what a god is. if you don't have any semblance of an understanding of this like greater or like some other force, then you have no idea. You can't explain what a god is, for example.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, of
But
course.
to go on the radio frequency thing, like when I used to study in my degree in environmental science, like I did remote sensing. So you look at like satellite images and like you can detect if there's like gold in the earth based on the radio frequencies on the map.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. It was really interesting. But like you would like people are like, oh, but you can't see it. Like it doesn't matter. It still radiates like
It
certain
gives us
frequencies,
something, no matter if there's like 10 million fucking years of dirt above it, it won't make any difference. It will still send out its own frequency. It's so fucking amazing. But next question. How many moons does our planet Earth have?
One.
That is wrong, my friend.
No, it's not.
But no, it absolutely is. Well, a couple of years ago, it was still believed that the Earth had one moon. Now we know that that is not the case. As a matter of fact, there are two. The first one being the moon, which we all know and love, which is made of cheese, of course.
Yep, and some guys never went there. They filmed it in a basement somewhere.
Alejandra, are you looking it up? Stop looking up, please. Because you might discover more than I want you to.
If I search how many moons do we have?
Written by Andy Cohen.
No.
The
Stop looking at your phone. Stop it. You do not get to ask that question online. Not now. Do your research after the show. Right now, phones are off.
Put it away.
I want your eyes here, baby. All right, there you go.
And I want your legs like that.
Who's a good girl?
No. Stop. You. I'm going to kill you.
All right. Well, the first is the moon, which we know and love. The second one is called Carithney. It's 4.8 kilometers across, or 3 miles in retard measurements. And it passes by the Earth. Alex, you hate it when I say that, don't you?
Me, I love the retard measurement. She doesn't like it, so...
I hate it.
Well, actually, my future sister-in-law really hates it, because she works with special needs.
Oh, okay, cool.
So when I call my brother a retard, obviously, she's like,
she's
what did you say?
Yeah,
I'm like, well, he is. Look at him.
Well, sorry to all the retards. Look, it passes by Earth every 770 years and was discovered in 1986. So that's actually the answer to that question. Earth doesn't have one moon. It actually has 2 of them.
Is it a moon or a comet?
Well, that was the debate, but it has an orbital motion. It runs around the moon. So even if it was as small as a little pebble, you would still have to somewhat
Is it the moon of the moon?
But does it have gravity?
Yes.
A gravitational pull?
Yes, it is close enough. Cool. Yeah. It is close enough to have its own small gravitational pull. But that will come in a little bit later, because this was in 1986, in a time period where gravitational pull was not a standard for what an earthly body would be or what a moon body would be. All right, well, next question. How many moons does the Earth have?
Didn't you just ask that?
I'm just asking questions here, Ali. I want you to answer this one. How many moons does the Earth have?
1.
No, absolutely fucking no, it's not true. It was actually discovered that our lovely little planet has 5 moons. For in the year 2000, there were 3 more discovered. And this is what we were talking about just a little bit ago, is that sign keeps changing and it keeps changing, and celestial bodies are no more a part of that than anything else. But they found 3 more. Their names were 2000 PH5, 2000 MN10, and 2002 AA29. Now, some people have claimed that these 3, in fact, can't be moons at all, but what else, Cal, could you call them? Because they are in orbit around the Earth and are celestial bodies. So you could argue that there are either 1 or 5, but definitely not 2.
1.
By this definition, does a satellite count as a moon?
No.
Then we have
absolutely,
5,000.
absolutely
Because
not.
they orbit the Earth.
Which brings me to my next question. How many moons do you guys think the Earth has?
17.
No.
1.
No, God. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't have any moons. Not if you follow a certain theory that recently
you're
came
a flat
out.
earther?
No, I'm not. But not to a certain theory that came out recently. And it is quite an interesting theory. There's been an article released that says that the moon is actually not a moon at all. In fact, it acts more like a planet of its own than it would a moon, because a moon needs to have a certain criteria since the year 2006. And this is where what Alex said came in with gravitational pull, which very good for you for knowing that. Congratulations, buddy. The 3 criteria are: they need to have cleared their own space debris. They must have their own gravitational pull. And they must be in orbit, not around a planet, but around a sun, which is what our moon does, but no other moon does. Cruithne didn't do that. Cruithne evolved around the Earth. It was like 770 years it revolved around the Earth. The other ones did that as well around the Earth. They didn't go around the sun. So they couldn't be classified as moon anymore. Now, the moon itself is a dispute, because did the moon clear its own space debris, or was it a cooperation with the Earth? Because the moon does revolve around the sun as it revolves around the Earth, you see? So the moon has its orbit around the sun, as well as an orbit around the Earth, which could make it possible that the moon didn't clear its own space debris, which would make it a moon. If it did in cooperation with our Earth, it would be classified as a planet. You look very confused, Ali.
Wait, this is good
Cool.
news. This is good. This just means that all the Americans did was just basically make another sci-fi movie, because they didn't fake going to the moon. They just faked going to another alien planet. And therefore, they just made Planet of the Apes or something. Like,
Yeah, probably.
well done, America. You just made a Hollywood film
Yeah, there you go.
with NASA. Congratulations.
There you go. Yeah, but the signs of the moon keeps changing. No matter how much people think it just it's a little orb in there, we're still discovering quite a lot about our celestial bodies, and very, very much indeed our own 9 lovely planets, or actually 8, because like, which one fell out? Pluto. And I think, by the way,
Yeah, I think
because of the criteria of 2006, this is the reason why Pluto was no longer a planet.
Rip Pluto.
Yeah, it's a
Because
moon, right?
it's because it had to fulfill these 3 criteria, and it didn't, and that's why they kicked Pluto, the poor little pupper, off the planet list and into the moon spectrum.
So annoying, because that was the only one I actually knew the order of. It's the last one. Pluto.
Yeah.
And now it's
Yeah.
not even a planet.
So the easiest one.
Also, a little fun fact. Any picture you see of the planet Mars is actually Photoshopped. There isn't any pictures of the planet Mars as it is. They call it the red planet, but if you look at it as a planet from the distance that we can take pictures, it's actually pretty gray if you look at it. But
It's because of the sun, right? That makes it look
Yeah.
orange.
Yeah. But they enhance the red in every Mars picture because it doesn't look like that at all. It doesn't absolutely look like that at all.
It makes it look cooler too.
Yeah,
That's the
it
whole
does.
point
But
of
it's
it.
known as the red planet, and there's actually not a real picture of the planet Mars. Well, there might be some out there on the web, on the interweb. But yeah, that's actually the reality about our moons and the planets and all that shite. All right, well, we're going to hit into some history here because we got a little history buff, and I wanted to involve Alex and see his knowledge about history. How many of the 300 Spartans died at the Battle of Thermopylae?
500.
How many of the 300 fucking dickhead?
500. All of them. Nah, actually, I think they took some prisoners. They were like, I don't know, let's say 290.
How many do you think, Ali? Like, just think about your common knowledge and spew out that answer, even knowing if it's wrong or not.
I do not know anything about Spartans, so say 5.
What have you been taught in school?
About
Alex,
Spartans,
do you
nothing.
remember that? Do you remember those lessons? Like, what do
They
you
were
teach
a
you in school?
long time ago.
I don't fucking remember ever bringing up the Spartans.
So what I remember was that movie 300 with the super
Yeah,
rich guy.
pretty much, yeah. Which is gonna come up here for some odd reason because I actually found something out that fucking
Okay, let's say
pisses
150.
me off. 150. Well, no, in if you paid attention in school, which
But we never
apparently-
read about the bloody fucking Spartans in school.
Well, you
I think
should
they
have.
were just mentioned.
You should have because it was a very strategic battle.
What
and
did
it
you
was
learn about the
glorious.
Vikings?
Well, we did. Actually, I don't think Vikings were. The only thing I learned about school, about Vikings in school, was that they were the first ones to discover America, and that it wasn't Christopher Columbus.
Allegedly, we don't know that.
Yeah, no, they pretty much know because they found Viking artifacts that were older than the discovery of Christopher Columbus. It was pretty easy to determine,
the
actually.
Vikings were before Christopher Columbus. So.
Yeah, but there wasn't anything there to steal, so the Vikings just sort of fucked off again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, which is something that makes sense because Vikings wanted to loot and pillage.
All they
and-
cared about was, raping,
Yeah.
pillaging, and
Yeah.
plundering.
Yeah,
And they could have done the raping, a little bit of pillaging, but no plundering, so they
Yeah.
weren't interested. So they went back to the English and made gingers.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, in school you are taught that all 300 Spartans died, but there were actually 301 Spartans present because their king, King Alex.
A man.
No, come on, you saw the movie 300. Say his name.
I don't
No.
remember. That was like 15 years ago.
Well, I thought like I figured you guys would know the name, so I actually it pisses me off now. Every time I'm gonna watch this movie or hear his name, it's gonna piss me off. In the movie, it's King Leonidas,
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
but this is fucking Sparta. That's not how they fucking say a name. They don't use an American accent. So why do you remember how that you
Leonidas.
No, Leonidas
Leonidas.
was actually the name that was that's the correct pronunciation if you're not a complete fucking
You see, now you're doing the same thing with the dialects and names being a different way, a different language, and I've been telling you.
I thought you
And
would
you-
fucking
no,
appreciate it.
Yes, but
because
that's what I'm
of that.
saying. Because you say like, oh, but it depends how and where you come from. You can say my name differently. No, your name is Andy. Your name is Andy.
Hey, he's not as exotic as you.
Shut the
he
fuck up.
is happy to be called whatever
Tell
people.
that-
He's just happy for attention.
Tell that to the French when they call me Andy for some fucking reason. That's not my
Andy
name.
Coudron.
But tell them off then.
You don't even
Andy.
say it right. Yeah, no, that's not right. That's not right. That's not my
Andy.
name. My name is not Andy. It's not Andy. There's no A
Andy.
there. It's an A. It's Andy.
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 Okay, well I'll call you.
Well,
Andy
learn to
from
say
now
it
on
fucking
then.
right then. Before you whip
Yes. Go, children, fight to the death.
Andy.
me. Yeah.
It sounds like Andes.
Yeah, not with a U,
Yeah. Andy.
with a soft
Well,
A.
anyway, look. So you are taught in school that there's 300 Spartans. There's 301 because their king, of course, wasn't counted as a soldier. It was a king. So there's actually 301 if you count Leonidas present there. But in the end, 299 died.
I said 96.
Yeah, because two of them just weren't there. One of them was actually called Pantites, which love that name. Was sent by King Leonidas on a political run to Thessaly, possibly to recruit allies. And upon returning
Good timing.
too late to the battlefields. Actually, this is a very sad story. You can look this up. Just type in Spartans and then Pantites. Upon returning too late to the battlefield, he had to return to Sparta itself and was shunned as a trembler, basically saying that he was too scared to fight. He was made an outcast and couldn't live with himself in shame, because we all know that Spartan held high honors and all that. He was so shameful of himself, in fact, that he hung himself.
Cool.
The second one that couldn't make it to the battlefield was called Eurytus, and he wasn't able to make it to the battlefield because he was suffering from an eye infection. Now, the Spartans have taken so much credit for the Battle of Thermopylae, but they were with so much more than 300. Like, the movie 300 was not accurate at all. There were more than 7,000.
I never watched that movie.
Yeah. It's basically the Spartans defended one small trench, which was a great fucking strategic move that they did. With 300 people, no one could get past. They ended up all dying. But that battle had more than 7,000 Athenians in there, and apparently those guys are fucking bullshit according to history, because nobody talks about them. In the meantime,
Yeah,
like
but the Athenians with the pussy, like they were all about democracy and like, you know,
Yeah,
the Spartans
but,
like, fuck that, I'll take
but
what I want.
it fucking sucks that you send in 7,000 of your men and nobody fucking remembers them. And like 5 fucking kilometers away in a small trench, there's like 300 buff naked guys willing to give their lives in a trench. And like they get all the credit for an entire battlefield, which was like swarmed with allies and stuff like that. It wasn't the battle the movie 300 makes us believe, that's for sure. So another thing you thought you knew but you didn't know, but you should know. The last big question that I'm gonna ask is, and this is not common knowledge, but still I thought it was very interesting to find. Why did it take around 300 years to give the giant tortoise a scientific name? What could have been the reason for that?
Because they never saw them produce their offspring?
No.
What a random answer.
It was a
Turtles are very
guess.
So you
secretive of
can't
where they-
name something in your world until you see it fuck and have a baby. Okay, so that's how Ali, you're not a thing
No,
until you
but-
fucked and had a baby. So we're not a thing yet because we haven't banged
Hi,
and had a kid.
my name is Emily. I'm a virgin. You don't have a name yet.
Yeah,
You
shut
have
the
to
fuck
wait
up,
till you get fucked, bitch.
creature.
There is
Yeah.
no butter man.
That's what you said.
That's according to your knowledge. It made sense.
No.
I'm gonna say because where the giant tortoise comes from,
Why is that? Like,
just
that
no
they
one
didn't get- no.
bothered writing anything down
No,
or
no, no.
naming
No, no,
anything,
no.
and the
Well,
white people didn't know.
The thing was, they discovered them, but it took them 300 years from the point of discovery to the scientific name. It took them 300 years.
Maybe
What does the scientific name mean, scientifically?
I have it written down here. Don't fucking kill me if I butcher this. Chelonoidis nigra.
I'm gonna say because white people hadn't gone there yet that knew the Latin to name it the scientific name.
No, that's not.
It was like full of Pacific Island
so
people that had no idea.
Chil-
about
I'm
Chelonotis?
gonna I'm gonna give you guys a little hint. It was of a certain quality these turtles had. They had a specific property that
meat.
No, it's the shell,
it's both.
the meat shell.
It took them 300 years because these animals were so tasty. They just kept eating them.
Fair enough.
None of them made it back to Europe ever in 300 years.
Fucking, I remember this.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were so edible, you couldn't believe it. The only comparison they've made were with chicken, beef, mutton, and butter, and saying how much tastier they were than all those things.
You know what mutton is?
No, unfortunately, they're an endangered species now, so you can't fucking...
No, I said, do you know what mutton is?
Mutton, yeah, sheep.
Yeah, okay.
Old sheep.
Old sheep.
Yeah, old
Lamb
sheep.
is way better.
Specifically.
Mutton's for like poor peasant people.
Yeah.
Sorry if you eat mutton, but like lamb is just so much better.
Yeah,
in
it
every
is.
possible way.
Yeah. And it's just cute to see how they die. Anyway.
Oh, it is. It is. Little Lammy. But more to the
so
point,
bored.
did they ever see the giant tortoise fuck?
I think so, because they were actually on those islands. I don't remember the specific island they were from, but
Tortuga.
yeah, it was. Look, the thing was, they went to get a lot of them to bring them back to Europe to study them. They didn't get not a single time. Even if they loaded up an entire boat with these tortoises, they were so good that by the time their ship would reach Europe, they would all be eaten. And they had this amazing fucking quality about that everything was edible about them. The bone marrow, everything was just used in everything. They even had this like internal bladder that stores water so perfectly that it's drinkable. So if you fucking open this motherfucker up, you have a little drink with it as well. And about, not a small quantity, in fact, about a gallon of water was stored within this bladder.
I'm marooned on an island. Male animal about to fuck female animal. I kill male animal so they don't sex, so I don't name it.
Yeah.
But then I get to eat it and then also drink and not die of dehydration.
Yeah. These critters were perfect. Yeah. And also, you could stack them on top of each other so they couldn't move, which was another quality of them that was just too perfect not to let.
And then their shells, you make instruments out of them. Like they were perfect for like stringed
I don't know what
instruments.
I didn't find out what they did to the shells, but
You can pretty much anything you can use a shell for.
Also, these animals, once they were captured, they didn't need to be fed for months. If you take a cow, you need to feed it daily. A tortoise doesn't need to be fed, especially if it stores like a gallon of water in a bladder. It can survive off of that for months on end. So that was the
reptiles
reason.
Do well without
Are they
eating.
counted as reptiles?
I have absolutely
They
no
lay
idea.
egg.
They're not cold-blooded.
I actually don't know if they're counted as reptiles.
They're not reptiles.
I've never seen any of them fuck. So
A spider lays an egg, Batman. Doesn't make it a fucking reptile.
But a spider isn't a reptile,
But you said
dumbass.
because it lays eggs, so does a spider. You
I
are
think-
all over the shop today. You need to get back to reality.
Wait, no, let's just.
She thinks there's only one moon, Andy. This fucking person. She's googling now.
Yeah, no, I'm just quickly. They are a reptiles. They are a reptile species of the family Testudinidae of the order Testudines, from the Latin name for tortoise. They are the longest living land animals in the world, although the longest living species of tortoise is a matter of debate.
I take it back, but you're still all over the place.
Yeah.
The reptiles.
But your
Yeah.
logic that they're reptiles because they lay eggs does not make sense.
The reptiles.
But like I
Well-
said, a spider lays an egg. That's an arachnid.
Well, you don't know
Yeah,
that.
but-
You don't know, but that is in the bug world. I don't think it's the same. If you know,
I'm just saying. She said it lays eggs. Must be a reptile. I don't think it works that way.
You gotta know.
Platypus lays an egg. It's a mammal.
A platypus is like
the only one
it's
in
the
the
only
fucking planet.
fucking
that
It
one.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The duck beaver is the only mammal that lays an egg, but it doesn't matter. Still
the
a
duck
mammal.
beaver. Yeah. Well, have you
Birds
ever
like eggs too. They're not reptiles. They're related to reptiles, but they're not reptiles.
They're velociraptors.
I never seen any of them fuck.
Can I send them over? I don't
Yeah,
want to deal with
do
this
it.
anymore.
do it.
I like that you called me him because you never seen me fuck.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Let's go on. Let's go on to the next question, which is one I gave one for Alex. I'm not gonna give one for Alejandra, which is about skin and hair. Now, how long does, and this is right up Ali's alley because it's about hair and death. How long does a person's fingernails and hair grow after death? How long do they continue to grow?
6 months. 6 months. Don't shake your head at me, little voodoo witch lady. What's the answer then?
It doesn't stop growing.
How much?
It doesn't stop growing.
What do you mean?
Your hair and nails keep growing when
It just
your body
keeps growing?
dies.
No.
But then you decompose. So what is it growing out of? Nothing.
Yeah,
That
but
doesn't
obviously
make any
when
sense.
No. Actually, you're both wrong. What actually happens is that the skin dries and shrinks away from the base of hair and nails, giving the appearance of growth, but it actually just stops growing the moment you die. Nothing happens in your body that would suggest or help with the growth of your fingernails or your hair follicles or anything like that. It's basically you just withering away. If you want to see what that would look like, for example, just pull back the skin of your face, put it back, and it will sort of give you. But put that to an extreme, and then you'll have.
I'll try that out.
You can do it with foreskin, Alex. Just keep pulling. Yeah, there you go. See how much longer your beard looks. No, but it's basically the combination between the drying of the skin and it reducing to a little thin layer of whatever the fuck is behind when you die.
So sit in a bathtub for like an hour, get all shriveled up like a fucking prune, like an old person. And then basically that's what it looks like.
I actually think if you would die in a bathtub, you wouldn't have the same problem, because if you die in a bathtub, you would rather bloat up than you would.
No, but I'm saying like go sit in the bathtub. You know when you shrinkle up like an old lady? When you sit in there too long because your skin dehydrates, and then you kind of like,
Maybe you can have the impression like that around your fingernails. Yeah, that actually might be some truth to that. I don't know. I'd have to try it out for myself, but I don't know. What causes acne or the little zits during puberty?
combination of oils in the skin and what are they called? Hormonal changes in your body.
Okay, Ali?
Hormones.
Mm-hmm. What was that?
Hormones.
Hormones. Oh, well, it's actually not either one of them. It's not due to a lack of hygiene or eating fatty foods or other personal habits or hormones, or has nothing to do with that. The acne part of your body, which does happen around hormonal changes, is actually a part of your genetic features that jump into action. So no matter how much you stay away from fat foods, or how much you wash yourself or clean out your skin, it's much rather to do with your genetics and who your parents were than it has anything to do with the other reasons that we've been taught.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
But it still has to do with the hormones because it's genetic.
The hormones are the activator. It's not the fire. It's the activator to the flame.
It's like the catalyst, but it's not actually. So it just speeds it up. It makes it happen,
the
but it's not.
hormones
Yeah, it makes it
genetically built from your DNA makeup that you get from your parents.
The question is, if you have a lighter but no cigarette, will you be able to light a cigarette? No, you won't, because you don't have the cigarette. You need both.
You find a fucking way. Find someone that has a cigarette.
Take away the genes. Take away the genes, and you can have the same hormones, and you wouldn't have acne. But leave inside the genes and take away the hormones, somehow the zits and the acne would still manifest itself. So the hormones act as an accelerator too, or like the fire that lights the cigarette, so to speak.
But okay, for example, because in my case, like my sister had really bad cystic acne.
Okay.
I didn't have acne.
Yeah. Okay. That's
now
because
I have acne.
And
my sister doesn't have acne.
Yeah, that's because
that isn't because of my gene pool. That is because I have to shove something into my vagina so I don't have fucking babies.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
that affects my temper
well,
too.
exactly. You said it yourself. You had an uprising in hormones levels when you were hitting puberty, because you didn't skip puberty, Ali. You had the same uprising in hormone levels.
Man, I hope you didn't skip it.
And it didn't give off the same reaction that put forth the acne, so sort of put the genes in action. they lay dormant somewhat later in your life, and now that you put it artificially up your cooch, they do react to that, and you get acne from it. So it makes perfect sense. The other way around, it wouldn't work. You see, if you would put those hormones inside of your body now, in your vagina, and you wouldn't have those genes, you would never have acne. You wouldn't have it.
Do you know what I really like about that? Is that you said my sister, not a name. Is that because she hasn't had sex? Hey!
Fuck off. That's not what I meant.
Well, it's your logic, Ali. I mean, we're just following
That wasn't
it.
even part
In
of
Ali's
the
world,
logic.
nothing has a name until it has sex. What is this? I call this a water bottle. What is this?
You fuck yourself, Alec.
What do you call this?
Fuck it, I might call it a water bottle.
I mean, my dick could fit in there probably.
Yeah. That's why you be... That's why you be fucking tonight, because you're not fucking me, mate.
At least this thing doesn't complain.
Yeah, well, that depends on who the loser of this game is, I guess.
I think Ali's losing. Her science is all over the place.
Nah, yeah. But at least she's trying, dude. She's given some very artistic answers today. I'm actually surprised.
I'm
She's actually...
artistic.
Is she artistic or autistic? I don't know.
So, what, Alex, here's one for the boys. What could you use to measure your penis? Like, looking for appearance, what could you use to know if somebody has a dick big or a big dick? What could you use as saying, like, oh, he has a big dick because blah, 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 etc., etc., etc.? Hand size, says Ali. This is a podcast, Ali. Don't show shit to the camera. Speak.
But you didn't even say me to answer. You said, this is a question for the boys.
Yeah, well, fucking answer,
so I
answer
figured
it
I'll give an
because...
answer anyway, but not say it, because I'm not allowed to answer, apparently. But I don't listen to you, and I give an answer anyway.
You are part of the boys because you think like us. Because like, oh, I need to fucking see them fuck first before I give them a name. You know, that's a very
That's not what I
guyish
meant.
answer.
That is what you said. I'm going to say the length of the second toe on your foot, so the toe next to the big toe.
What the fuck is
if
that?
it's
Is that
longer
a
than
thing?
normal, then you have a big dick. If it's shorter than your middle toe, then you got
I
like
swear to
small
God,
dick.
there's a
if it's the
lot of
same
people-
average, longer, big dick.
There's a lot of people taking off their shoes right now. I'm pretty sure of that.
That's the autistic answer.
It's not
instead
the
of
autistic. It's
It's,
the me being like, because Greek people, the second toe is longer, and that's why I have a big penis, because I'm half Greek. So it just makes sense. It's just science, Batman.
There's
Jesus fucking Christ.
it's not science, Alex. There's actually nothing. There's no science to state the fact that either.
Okay, you know what? Pull
hand
down their
or
pants,
foot
start
size.
whacking them off, and then you'll find out.
Yeah, that is an option too. But there's no science for the fact that hand size or feet size can correlate with the human penis size.
You can get an idea.
Toe size.
But the finger length ratio thing might, like the bring it up there, like push it down to the.
Yeah. So just remember, ladies, if he's good at fingering because he gets right in there, he's probably got a big package.
Well, if he goes through the trouble of fingering you, at least you know you got something going on other than dick game, I guess.
And then after you have sex with him, you can name him. So
Oh yeah,
even better, you can call him whatever you want.
Of course, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Prince Charming, whatever you want to call him.
Wait, hold on. There was one more.
I hope it is. How long do elephants sleep?
No.
Ah,
Oh,
4
here it
hours.
is.
2 hours.
A little scientific fact that I'm pretty sure a lot of women are going to be typing in after they're done listening to this episode. But here's my final question, and this one is about sexuality. This one is for the girls, because if you do one for the boys, you got to do one for the girls, of course.
So sexist. It's-
I'm not sexist. I'm sexy, though. Here's one for the girls. Ali, where's the G-spot located?
On who?
On women.
It's between the clitoris. Clitoris is part of the magic.
Yeah.
But you can also, it's further back. It's right in the butt.
Right by the balls.
No, because females don't have balls. You asked me where the fucking
South Park
female-
says they do.
She's transphobic.
Yeah,
We heard it
she
here
is.
first, folks.
What?
I've had like a
Trans
woman or
person.
two.
You just said women don't
Oh
have
my-
balls.
In the female autonomy.
No,
Anatomy.
and let's hear from the fucking.
On
The female autonomy. The G spot.
Let's hear from the gorilla fucking of this pack
Mr.
of
G-spot.
monkeys.
It is straight up my ass.
And with women,
Straight up my ass. Women
Just
don't have a G spot. They just are tricky to things to work out. They're like an old car. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
You got it. There's no scientific
true.
scientific basis to the G-spot. The G-spot for science doesn't exist now. That doesn't mean there's not still looking. A lot of people are still looking. Half of the
I've been
fucking
searching, man.
male population are still looking. But the fact of the matter is that the female body doesn't have a special spot that brings her more pleasure or joy or whatever the upburst of. Some people just have spots in their body that they like to be touched more because there's a more dense area of nerve systems there.
And it can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be their genitals.
Yeah, but it can be anywhere. Like, for example, there are women who have claimed that the right side of their vagina wall is a little more sensitive than the left side of their vagina wall. And they've done this with experiments and such and such and such and such. And there are women that claim exactly what Ali says, that it's in between like the first 2 centimeters. If you go up the vagina, put your fingers in up there. So there must be a collective of nerves there, but there's no...
If I can give an example, for example, like I can reach climax by just penetration and Alex kissing my back. Like that's like this
Yeah.
somewhere else for me. And it only adds the back kissing, for example. And
Yeah.
eh,
But yeah,
biting.
there's in reality, in the real scientific world, there's absolutely no scientific fact of the female or the male G-spot. There's just a collection of nerves that make you feel a little more intense in certain areas in the body than in other places.
So what I'm hearing is I took a 1-0 lead because I knew the actual answer. Ha! I get to have sex with you.
There's actually, well, you can ask her kindly and have her permission. And
I have one more thing we need to state here. Did you know my name before I met Ali was not Alex?
Did you have a name before?
I had
before
a
you
name
met
before
Ali?
because other people work a bit differently, but she renamed me once we had sex.
All right, she rebranded you into what?
She
I
rebranded.
think Alex was just confessing that he was a virgin before he met me.
Alex
That man-
most definitely was a virgin before he met you. I still doubt the fact that he had sex now. I
Yeah.
just think you're explaining to him like, oh no, just if you put your fingers in me, you're not a virgin anymore. And he does it every time, and like he has a thick finger, and he's like, no, I got a thick fucking dick. It's like just yeah.
She loves the
I
two
just think-
sausages.
I just think he gets fooled by you every day. I just don't think this man has ever had sex in his life.
She's pretty tricksy. That's for sure. She likes to play mind games and all sorts of things.
I wonder what would happen if you were to say one day to her. I know it's probably never gonna happen. I just keep wondering when I talk to you guys, what would happen if Alex one day said like, all right, well, you did something so fucking bad, you're off of sex.
That wouldn't happen.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't want it to happen.
I don't care.
You wouldn't care?
No.
Just to punish her.
Yeah, no, I
Make her
think
double
I
down
think
on the
I,
sex.
I think you'd fucking lose your shit.
Nah. I have a vibrator. I'm okay.
Oh God, yeah, that's always that. Look at Mr. Smug over there, just
Getting
sitting
so
there
pissed.
nodding no. It's like Mr.
He's
Sure
the
of
one that does
himself.
the heavy lifting around here anyway, so I don't get why the fuck you're
Who
pretending.
was the one who told you to fucking buy it? Me. You didn't even want it. And I was like, get it.
Yeah,
For-
'cause
they
I didn't own a
I've
vibrator
watched-
before
I've
I
watched
met you.
enough pornos to be like, I know this one. The super strength one's fucking good.
It's
And she was like,
the
oh, I
one
don't
with
know.
the-
I'm
it's-
scared.
You're always talking about the Wonder Stick, right? When you talk
Yeah,
about
the
your
Wonder
vibrator.
Stick.
It's,
Yeah.
it's like the one with
The
the
big
big fucking head on
motherfucker.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was scared, and I'm like, fuck it, just do it, buy it. And now she's like,
But you don't-
this is amazing.
Yeah, but you don't insert that, do you? It's like a clitoral thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also massage with it. I don't know why you would bother, but you can. It's actually fine just for the rest of your body, too.
I wonder, like, you know those power massagers with a ball that just goes. brrrr? I wonder if you could use that, but then, like, vice versa. It would probably hurt like a motherfucker, though.
If you
Like
prepare
the
to be
heavy-
bruised for a week.
Yeah, the heavy BDSM women need that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, those were the common knowledges that you should know, but you don't know, but you should have known. So
But I did know one
that's
of them.
But you did know one of them. And it was a lucky guess, by the way. I just think
I
we
knew
can
the
get
answer.
away from this. I just think we can get away from this is that you cannot name anyone until you've seen them fuck. There's no scientific reason why anybody should have a name
It's true.
if you haven't seen them fuck.
Why do you think on all the Pornhub videos in the comments, after they've seen them fuck, someone puts a name on them?
Yeah.
They wouldn't exist. They didn't have a name until we saw them fuck, and the guy in the comment went, okay, this person is called Jezebel Cumslut.
Yeah, but does that mean that most men in Florida haven't had sex yet?
Yep.
Because it's never like, oh, Gregory Davies fucking killed, so it's always Florida man.
Except the guy that fucked an alligator. He had a name.
He had a name.
He
That
had a
is
name.
true.
They put his name
That
on the
is
story.
true. Yeah, that is true. Exactly. Man, that was a wild story, though. What was it again? Like an
He
alligator
raped
tried.
an alligator for a
Yeah,
week.
no, but he tied it up as well. It was like
Yeah.
a week, like 3 to 4 times a day. He would rape this fucking animal.
It was his bitch.
Yeah, he actually. I
Can
think.
we
I
nod
think
this up?
if I'm not mistaken, that is a direct quote. I made her my bitch
Yeah,
about
I
the
think so.
alligator.
I'm
That
going
was
to
the
find
best-
his name right now.
that was the
He's lucky
best-
he has one.
Yeah, that was the best story. Look, dude, this guy should be called Big Dick Johnson because, like, I think the story in the end was like the alligator trespassed on his lawn or something, or in his
He
backyard.
caught it in his yard, yeah.
And he caught it there and he just tied it up like the feet behind him and just raped the fucking poor animal for 5 fucking days and ended up calling the alligator his bitch. I'm pretty sure it's in the article that he called her his bitch.
It makes complete sense.
It does.
Disgusting.
You having
You
trouble
came up
finding it?
with this methodology of naming people.
That was not what I meant.
The rest of humans for a long time was like when the baby was born and came out of the vagina, like, oh, you're Steve. Oh, you're like
Yeah.
Mandy. And you, it's like, have you fucked yet? Nope. Well, guess we gotta wait. You came up with this world order.
Didn't mean that.
It's easier to spot a virgin. That actually, you know what? This is what God wanted, is what Ali just said. Because then you can spot the people that had sex out of wedlock more easily. Because if they're not married but they have a name, they're a sinner.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
Ali is actually a full Christian.
Yeah, okay, let's wrap this up because I'm fucking sweating away here. Fuck.
I found what the guy looks like.
I don't want to know.
I'm sure he looks like the type of guy that would rape an alligator.
Oh, he does. He does look like a guy that would rape an alligator. Oh god, no! I need you
Like-
guys' reaction on this.
Is it
No.
his does he look like he has a sister wife?
Oh god, no! I'm gonna put it in NSFW. Oh well, there's me and Alex fucking for some reason.
Oh, yeah, nice. I remember that.
Yeah, join the Discord server if you want to know what that's about. But here's the guy that raped
Oh
the
my god.
fucking alligator. I mean,
That guy has smoked more meth than I think
and by the way,
many countries have ever had in their borders.
just so you know, this guy was 57 when he did this, when he raped the alligator. 50
did-
fucking 7.
What did he name
3
the
time-
alligator?
His bitch.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, on that lovely note, of course, you'll be able to find us on all social medias, which we don't use that often, but we're still there. Mainly, we use the Discord server. Also, there's a link in the description down below. You can click it to join said Discord server. We used to have a guy here called Malf. Malf started to ignore us and then just left because I kept bothering him. But I'm waiting for my Malf 2.0, man. Like, just click that link in the description box and just join the Discord server, baby. And our Twitter.
Just make sure
and,
before you name yourself you've had sex. Otherwise, you're not allowed on the server because you have to have a name to join.
No, we
if
don't.
You're a virgin. I'm
virgins.
sorry, you're not welcome. Fuck off.
Ali doesn't want you. She made it clear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's the Twitter handle and what is the Instagram handle?
So Instagram, we are at @random.podcast, at.random.podcast.
And on Twitter, we are AT_randompod.
Yep. And as every week, I want to thank you guys so much for listening to the show. And we hope to hear you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.